Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a few minutes and just do a brief overview of how this class is set up, just so that hopefully it makes sense and you kind of know how to navigate around. But when you first get into the class, you're going to show up on the home page. And on the home page, the first thing that's on here, this is where my announcements are. So every week I'm going to post announcements, and it'll just be like a scroll here. So all of the prior announcements will also be here. Sometimes I post videos, sometimes I just give you updates, things to kind of pay attention to for the week. So make sure that if there's anything here that you're really looking for and paying attention. Over here on the left, here's the navigation bar that you'll use. The modules are where all of your course content is. So everything that you will need each week, things for you to read, things for you to watch, links to the assignments, everything's going to be here in the modules. And then over here on the right is going to be your to-do list. So a lot of you like to just use the to-do list to kind of guide you with the assignments that are due that week. But you're going to miss out on information that's in the modules if you just go directly from here. So I really recommend that you go into the modules to get into that information. I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a second. But if you scroll down, I actually also have the course schedule here. So every week, this takes you, this middle part that says class content, this takes you directly to the module for that week with all of the information that you'll need. And then over here in the third column, these are direct links to the assignments. But my recommendation is that you go directly into the module. It's going to tell you really everything that you need for that week. Sometimes there's a lot of words, and I recognize that, but this is English class, so you got to do a little bit of reading. And just make sure that you at least skim through all of this and see, because it's going to have information about deadlines. It's going to have information about kind of what's coming in the upcoming weeks. So I wouldn't ignore the modules, but you can get it direct links into what assignments are due. And this also will kind of show you the weeks that there's maybe a little bit more due than others. So this first week you have a few different assignments, but none of them should really take you that long to do. They're kind of just introducing you to the course, introducing you to each other, kind of assignments like that. And then next week we're going to start getting into review of citations to make sure we're all on the same page as far as how to do citations and research. And then we jump right into the first paper. So week 3 we'll start working on paper number 1. We work on that for weeks 3, 4. Week 5 you have an annotated bibliography due. This is a pretty big assignment, so I would look and see if with your other classes, what do you have going on during this time period, because this assignment is going to take you a little bit more time than some of the others will. You're doing peer review of that paper in week 6. Week 7 is our spring break, and then we jump back in, still working on that paper, finishing it up, and then it's due at the end of week 9, and then we will have one more paper after that. And it kind of sounds like we're spending most of the class on one paper, but this is a paper that has 4 separate parts. So we're going to be working on those parts individually, and as we kind of move through it, you'll get more information. But basically you're going to have 2 papers. In theory, both of these papers are on the same topic. You're just going to be handling the content differently. You're not going to be required to do that though. So if you get done with paper number 1 and you're sick of the topic and you want to do something else for paper number 2, you definitely can do that. The only other thing that I think is really important is the Canvas inbox over here on the left-hand side. This is how you should be messaging me. You can send me emails, but I get a lot of emails, and I would hate for your message to get lost in my emails, and maybe there'd be a delay in me answering your message. So definitely use the Canvas inbox, and I would really consider turning on notifications in Canvas so that you get a text notification when you get a message. That way you're not missing anything. So other than that, I think you should just get into the course, kind of click around, make sure it makes sense. The beginning of the modules, this is just, some Canvas resources, things for you to kind of refer to. Other than that, everything is broken out week by week. The very first link is going to be the module that has the course content, and then it's followed again by direct links to the assignments. But you can kind of see what's going on and what you'll be doing throughout the entire class. So take a look. If anything doesn't make sense or you have any questions, definitely let me know.